Hey everyone, this is Lisa Espinosa, spiritual career coach, modern day priestess. I'm so happy to be here with you today for this special Facebook Live all about embracing divine feminine energy in your leadership, right? Your divine feminine leadership in your career. So if this is your first time connecting with me, it's so good to meet you. If you've been with me before, welcome back. So the focus of all of my work, of all of the transmissions that I do, the teachings, the work with my clients, is to help you connect with your soul's guidance and share your unique soul's medicine through your career. Now, of course, we share our medicine in every aspect of our life, but the focus of what I do is really helping you to share your medicine through your career. Hey, Michelle. Hi, Happy New Year. So let's just go ahead and take some nice cleansing breaths and just tune in, just get into that heart space, right? Getting out of our head, out of our intellect, and allowing ourselves to really settle into our heart. So just with that intention, hey Donna, as you take some cleansing breaths, just starting to settle into your heart, settle into your body, settling into this moment, and settling into the earth, right? Connecting to the earth. Trusting that you're watching this at the perfect time, right? Whether you're here live or watching the replay. And as we do this, let's just go ahead and do our mudra of presence. And if you haven't done this before, it's very simple. You can leave your left hand on your knee or your thigh, and we raise our right arm up, and we bring it down, and then you say, I am present, I am here. And if you can't say it out loud, you can say it within. It can be very powerful to hear your own voice stating this. So let's do it again. I am present. I am here. And one more time. I am present. I am here. And just calling on all of your beautiful guides and divine teachers, those beings of love that are not only bearing witness, but offering their love, their support. And of course, welcome your beautiful soul. So when I use the word soul, you might use a different word, and that's okay. But it's that part of you that is eternally connected to Source. That part of you that loves you unconditionally, always. It's not waiting for you to fix anything. It's just, it loves you unconditionally. And that part of you that is wise, and that knows the details of your legacy, right? Your legacy of love, of what you came here and have already been sharing with the world. And yes, this is through your career. But more than that, it's through your presence, right? Your presence, your soul wants to be embodied by you, empowered to walk through the earth plane and share its medicine, yes, through your career, but always. So we welcome that energy of everybody's soul here as we begin. And as we begin, I actually want to share with you, I'm wearing my Joan of Arc pendant, and it has like different, like the edges all say different things, and I know some of you have heard me talk about this before. This one, the one that's facing out today, is one of Joan of Arc's most famous words, which is "I was born for this," right? I was born for this. And so that statement, right? That prayer, that intention, that you were born for this. You said yes to living in this lifetime, even though sometimes it might seem like, why did we do that? But it's like you said yes. You were born for exactly the unique life journey that you have. And talking about divine feminine leadership, so I want to be clear that this goes beyond gender. We all, whatever gender you identify with or not identify with, we all have this divine feminine and divine masculine energy. Hey, Jan. And right now, and both are equally needed. So I know when I first started on this consciously, on this spiritual journey, like many of you had been was just kind of tired of the wounded masculine energy, both in the external and inside of me. So that I was just like, brah, masculine, just toss it over. It was all about embracing the feminine. And I still, this whole Facebook Live is about that, but I want to be clear that the feminine and the masculine, right, that divine marriage of the feminine and the masculine within us, the healed, sacred feminine and masculine, is essential. And we're talking about divine feminine leadership because we're very off balance in the world and within ourselves. So what is divine feminine leadership? So divine feminine energy is receptive. That's one of the main aspects, right? Receptivity, receiving. Not from a place of narcissism or a place of selfishness or a place of entitlement. That's not what we're talking about. This is a receptivity of being able to receive, right? Receive from your soul, receive from the divine, and yes, receive from others. It's all connected. And the reason that's so difficult, so challenging, is because in our society, in our world really, but definitely in our society, we've come to learn, have these beliefs, right? And a lot of them seem to be opposite of that receptive energy. And it's so interesting because I know if you're watching this that you have a heart's longing, a heart's prayer to be part of the evolution of the planet, right? To bring in this new paradigm of higher consciousness, of unity consciousness, of compassion, things that sometimes seem very far away but actually aren't. That isn't to say that there isn't pain and suffering in the world. Oh, absolutely, yes. But if you're here, you've already been part of that movement, right? To bring in healing and wholeness and unity consciousness. And we gather here together because we're 2021, we're stepping into more of that, right? Really birthing that. And what's really interesting is that when the earth, just like when we're about to kind of have a breakthrough, right? Like when we're actually getting healed, when we're becoming more enlightened, when we're waking up, there's often, right, those dark nights of the soul, those breakdowns. Same thing happens to the planet. So as so many of us wake up, right, and say yes to our soul, even though we stumble and we forget, but we get back on the path, there's all this beautiful energy in the planet, and there's the polarity, the opposite of that as well. Now, because of that, because we can see we have that heart's prayer to help, we can get caught up in the doing, giving, the doing and the giving, the intellect and the logic. There is a place for that, and that is what the divine masculine can really help us bring in. Right now we're talking about the divine feminine, and that is that receptive energy that receives, so that she can then have this abundance to give. So one of the first questions for you that you can ask yourself, that we can ask ourselves, and you can bring your hands to your heart, is, beautiful soul, where are you guiding me to receive more? And although my focus is career, we know that our soul doesn't compartmentalize. Yes, I absolutely believe that we have these legacies that we've already created through our career and are still creating through our career. and we are whole beings. So as we ask these questions, please trust that whatever answer you get, even if it doesn't seem career related right away, that it's gonna benefit every part of your life and bless your career. So again, the question, beautiful soul, how are you guiding me to receive more? Where am I blocking my receptivity? Where am I blocking my receptivity? And remember that your soul always answers. And if you don't become aware of the answer in this moment, it is there in your heart and it will become clear at just the right time. So again, where are you guiding me to receive more? Another way to ask it is, where am I blocking myself from receiving? Right? Where am I blocking myself? So with that question of receptivity, again, all of this, right, with the grace of compassion, right, that this isn't a judgmental evaluation, right? Because often when we ask that question, where are you guiding me to receive? We might recognize that there's places where our soul is guiding us to reach out, to ask for help, right? To set boundaries, to have perhaps uncomfortable conversations, to buy ourselves something, to invest money and time in something that is good for us. There's all sorts of different ways. And it's easy then to, it can be easy for our ego, our wounded masculine then, right, to beat ourselves up like, oh, why is this so hard for me, and on and on. That's not what this is about. So as we gather together in this meditative, sacred ceremony, really it's a Facebook ceremony here, we are inviting that all of this awareness comes to us and that we can receive it with great compassion and with great curiosity. So receptivity is one of those qualities of divine feminine leadership. Think about your soul. Your soul is always receiving. Your soul is in a constant state of receptivity. It is always receiving from the divine, right? It's receiving, and yet how generous our soul is, right? It's not receiving and hoarding it and like, this is mine, there's not enough. No, it's like receiving and then it wants to just radiate it out. That's what this receptivity is about. And divine feminine leadership, right? So there's a receptivity and there's great courage that comes from trust and surrender. So that energy, hello Heather, that energy of surrender, that quality of surrender, which is so misunderstood in our society, in our world. Surrender, it isn't about giving up. It is not passive. Really take that in. Surrender is not giving up, and it is not passive in the sense that we're just letting ourselves be taken this way and that. That's not surrender. Surrender is this quality of trusting, right? Trusting our soul, trusting the divine to lead us forward. It's a practice, right? It's what I have learned on this journey of surrender for myself is that it is a practice. And the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. And it's a practice that can't be taken for granted. So I have found that in my life that I can go through cycles where I feel the growing pains, the stretch of surrender, and then it feels like, okay, I've gotten this momentum, but I can't take it for granted. Like, okay, I mastered surrender. No, it's like the next initiation will come. And the more I can just remind myself through gentleness, like, okay, here we are again in this surrender practice, that it is a practice, that it is okay if parts of me resisted because it's so counter to what our world says, especially when it comes to leadership. leadership has often been defined by the wounded masculine qualities. And which is, we can kind of see the results of that in the world. So when we're saying surrender, really starting to understand that it is a courageous, radical act. It is not for the faint of heart. It really, and I'm not just saying that to trick you. It's just like, it really takes courage, right? To keep going back to, okay, so what is your guidance here? What is your guidance here? Wait, you're guiding me to slow down when I really want to speed up? That really sucks. But it's like, we keep having that prayer, and we start to understand that on our own, by relying on just our intellect and our logic, isn't getting us where we want to go. So that surrender practice, so important. And I've gotten this image before, I've shared before, of like dancing. Like if you think of a couple's dance, right, where there's two people dancing, and we'll say in this situation, a man and a woman, right, dancing. And when you've seen a couple dancing that is so in sync, it's beautiful, right? You watch them dance, or figure skaters. I love figure skating. I've never figure skated, so that is not what I'm saying. I love watching it. And when you see the couples figure skating, it's just, oh, it's so beautiful, right? That there's that mutual trust. So I've often, when I'm, in prayer and meditation, and really have had this heart's prayer of, okay, so guide me. What are the steps you want me to take in my career? What am I supposed to create? Is this a yes or is this a no? There's often been this like feeling like my soul wants to take the lead, which is what divine feminine leadership is about. And my ego's like, no. Like, do you really think it? Like, let's do it this way, right? And it's like been this learning to dance with my soul, learning to let my soul lead, and trust that when I do that, there's so much more flow. And yes, at first we're scared, because to take that specific teaching, which I've talked about many times, slow down to speed up, that is such a hard thing for our ego, right? We might be, I'm working on my book, which I've been working on for a few years, and I can get in this place, this is my second book, where I'm just like, oh my gosh, can I just crank it out, please? And yet, I learned through my first book process that if I really wanted to birth the book that my soul was saying was the book I'm supposed to create, the one that's going to not only bless me, but bless the most people, there is this requirement of surrender. That my soul, what to my ego looks like a detour, looks like, oh, I was doing such great work, but now I'm sick, or now my beloved, my loved one is sick, or now this has happened. And our ego can see it like a detour, like that's slowing me down. And our soul knows, no. That is not slowing you down. That's part of the experience you are meant to have. That's part of the training of your life that is going to infuse, first of all, enhance the wisdom of your soul's medicine, and infuse your creative projects with that wisdom. And the more we can start to trust that and surrender into that, the faster it actually goes. That's the amazing thing, right? So the last thing I want to say about divine feminine leadership is that it embraces the paradox. Divine feminine leadership, there's so much paradox in it. That whole slow down to speed up. Our ego, like, how does that make sense? How can I slow down and that actually speeds me up? Because you slow down, you listen to your soul understands that by slowing down here, you're actually going to accelerate this part of your journey. So there's that. There's, as I give, I receive, right? There's that paradox. It seems like, well, how is it that I can give and be receiving? And also the reverse, that as I receive, as I allow myself to receive, not only does it allow me to give more, but I'm actually already giving more in the act of receiving, because in reality we are all one. So that as we practice receiving from a soulful place, not a narcissistic, selfish place, we are creating this energy blueprint in the world for others to be able to do the same. So there's all of this paradox, right? There's all of this paradox, I heal, or, as we heal, we are being healed. We teach what we came here to learn. There's that wisdom of the divine feminine can really confront our ego. And that's on purpose. Because, if you think about like Jesus or other spiritual teachers, and I'm, again, not talking about dogma or doctrine, religious doctrine. They often, Buddha, they often said these things that were kind of like, what? Like they stop the ego from like the programming thinking. That's what the divine feminine does. Right? That it's like it brings this teaching, that death can bring new life. And I'm in this moment, I'm speaking of death, like not the death of our physical body, which is, we can have a whole other conversation about that, but even the death of a certain part of our career, the death of, even as my kids get older, right? There's been all these little deaths of like, oh my gosh, myself as a mother, that there are parts of my journey as a mother that as my kids keep getting older are dying, and there's grief in that, and there's also this great rebirth as I surrender into that I can start to grasp like, oh, there's this new life. So let's bring our hands to our heart. And you asked your soul already about receptivity. And if you joined us late, please make sure to go back and listen to that part. And now we're asking about surrender. So beautiful, beautiful soul. Where in my career are you guiding me to surrender? Where are you guiding me to surrender? Maybe the answer isn't career related, but it's going to bless your career. So just ask that, where in my life am I trying to control? And you're saying, surrender to my wisdom. And just listen to that. Just receive all of those answers in your heart. And then asking where, and I want to just kind of say a little bit, when you ask these questions, some of the questions might really resonate. Hello, Patricia, welcome. And some might not, and that's okay. Just be curious. So this question now, where are you guiding me? Where in my career are you guiding me to slow down so that I can speed up? Where in my career are you guiding me to slow down so that I can speed up? Where in my career are you guiding me to slow down so that I can speed up? And just receive that in your heart. And I invite you, as you're receiving all of this guidance from your soul, remember this gets recorded so you can watch it again and receive more, to right now in this moment visualize this beautiful golden light that's hovering over the crown of your head. And know that that golden light is the light of your soul. It's the grace of your soul, the wisdom of your soul, the unconditional love of your soul. And you're visualizing this beautiful golden light is starting to descend down the crown of your head. And as this happens, I'm channeling Reiki, and you're just letting yourself receive. If you haven't received Reiki before, that's fine. Reiki is energy healing. It's the energy of unconditional love. Your soul is in charge here, so just feel that it's okay to use your imagination, and it's okay if you don't feel anything in this moment. But this golden light that goes down the crown of your head, and it's filling your whole body with this golden nectar of love and compassion. It's softening any tightness, any resistance to receiving not only the love of your soul, but the guidance, right, on those questions. Where are you guiding me to be more receptive? Where are you guiding me to surrender in my career? Where are you guiding me to slow down, to speed up? So just feel that golden light goes down all the way down to your feet, into the earth, releasing the unnecessary. And then back up again, that golden light goes again. And I invite you to imagine beautiful honeybees. And if you're scared of honeybees, these are not going to harm you. I love honeybees. But just these beautiful, like they're not on your body, but they're like hovering around, and the buzzing of the bees is very healing. That buzzing that starts to align your cells and wake up your cells and unify your cells so that they can follow your soul's guidance, even at that cellular level. So just like the beehive, there's the queen bee and all the worker bees. So we're welcoming a beautiful bee medicine that's also about beauty and receiving the nectar of life. As you receive your nectar, this nectar from your beautiful soul, going down, all the way down. Notice where, if there's maybe the nectar, it flows, and then it stops around your throat. I'm feeling that. And you start to notice your throat is like tightening up. And that's okay. Just breathe through it and just allow the nectar to soften the fear, the resistance that you might have of speaking your truth, right? Of articulating that divine feminine wisdom through your words, through your voice. And then just let the nectar keep flowing all the way to your feet. As it dissolves into the earth takes whatever we release and is composting and recycling it. And finally, just visualizing your aura, that cocoon of light that surrounds you. See that beautiful cocoon of light that surrounds you? And if there's any color that feels good in this moment, imagine that color is infusing your aura. And remembering that your aura is a divine feminine energy. Your aura is both radiant, radiating without effort, your love, your medicine, and magnetic, which is another feminine quality, divine feminine quality, is magnetism. So it's magnetizing all of the resources, support, ideas, validation that is meant to support your path as you share your unique medicine, your unique soul's medicine. See yourself walking through the rest of your day in this beautiful aura with this beautiful nectar of light continuing to infuse and integrate into your beautiful body, bringing you that clarity that you're seeking. And I'm going to burn some sage as we end this inner journey. So just feel the energy of the sage, the earth medicine, right? Helping to ground it all. And if your eyes are closed, starting to open them and just doing any stretches that feel good. And welcome back. So I want to pull some cards before we end. Thank you all for being here. And remember, as I said, the replay is available, of course, so you can always go back and just, if it can be helpful just to do the meditation part. Again, it's so simple, right? You're just asking yourself a question. You're asking your soul a question. We overcomplicate what it means to talk to our soul. It's really pausing, asking, and receiving. That's it. And trusting that your soul always answers you. And maybe in that moment, because you're overeager or you have parts of doubt, you don't hear it. And that's okay. It'll come at the right time. And it might come, like I write in my book, Answering Your Inner Calling, that chapter on hearing your soul's guidance. It might come indirectly through synchronicity, through signs, through oracle cards, right? It'll validate the messages. So before the cards, I want to remind you that the Soul Summit is, hey Lorenza, the Soul Summit is coming on February 19th. I'm so excited. I think we have 6 spots left. We had it last year. We're having it this year virtual. It's really all about this, right? It's all about this divine feminine leadership and gathering together with other women who are saying yes, right? Who are saying yes, 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 like Joan of Arc did, right? That said, yes, I have my banner. This is my message that I have for the world. And I want to gather together and get clarity on 2021. What does my divine feminine leadership look like this year? And no comparison, because yours will look different than mine and different than others. Leadership doesn't necessarily mean being in front of a camera. It can, but it doesn't just mean that. It can mean your leadership can look different. Your soul will know. So there's going to be ceremony, there's going to be ritual, there's going to be connecting, getting clear on your spirit team guide for 2021. I know Kuan Yin is a big one for me this year, and Ganesh. This is all through inner journeys. I'm not the one that's going to be telling you who your spiritual team is, and talking about law of attraction, right? Which is talk about divine feminine leadership, right? It's like knowing that through quantum leaps, by following our soul's guidance. Let me back up. I'll just add this. I know I'm supposed to be pulling cards. Not supposed to. I like pulling cards for you. That you're here to create paradigm shifts, to create movements. So the only way for us to do that is by trusting our soul's guidance and knowing what's our part to do and what is the universe is going to do for us. Because there's no way that we can take all those steps. It's not even possible. It wouldn't be fun. It's not what the divine is asking. So it's really important to have those conversations, right? How do I step into that flow so that the steps I'm taking are getting me, are creating that vision that I have received from my soul. And if you haven't received it yet, this is a perfect time to receive it or get more clarity on your word for 2021. So you can read all about it on my website, on my Facebook page. Like I said, there's 6 spots left. And I will be doing some personal readings too as time permits, and whoever volunteers for them, you don't have to do it. Okay, that is February 19th. Let's do the cards. So since we're talking about surrender so much, we're going to do a surrender card. See, what is the message for you? So important. Surrender the habit of people pleasing. Speak your needs and be true to yourself. Focus on your own happiness instead of always trying to make everyone else happy. Look at her. So important. Divine feminine leadership, it is not about people pleasing. That is not a sacred quality. We've been told that. We've been fed that lie for generations. So please, I'm not judging that, because I've totally can fall into that and have had moments at times in my life where this was kind of drove my life. But this is really getting clear and being very sober and lucid and honest with ourselves and trusting ourselves on what's a yes and what's a no, right? That's one way to look at it. And let's do the Sacred Traveler from Denise Lynn. And that's the Surrender deck by Dr. Judith Arloff, O-R-L-O-F-F. Highly recommended. I love that deck. And let's see. Ooh, grounding. Go deep. Explore your roots. Oh, I love this image. I wish I could do this. It's kind of cold in Chicago right now. Not kind of cold. But look at her by that tree. So grounding. Go deep. Explore your roots. So this is both physically ground, right? Let's not get like all spacey and up here, or even as we envision our future that we're future tripping, right? And we're not in the present moment. But it's also go deep. Your roots, your lineage, your, you know, those ancient ancestors in your lineage that are medicine women, medicine men, that are part of your medicine. Explore that. And finally, Soulful Woman deck. And then we shall be done. Love it. Uniquely myself. I trust that who I am is perfect for my unique journey and soul path. Look at her. I totally want to put that on my hair. But let me read that again. I trust that who I am is perfect for my unique journey and soul path. So everything, all the quirks, all the initiations, all the things that we are challenged by in our journey, that's all part, it was uniquely designed that way. It's all part of what makes you beautiful and compelling and authentic and draws to you those people that you're here to help, to serve in a way that blesses them and blesses you. People, animals, plants, you know, whatever you're guided to, however you're guided here to share your medicine. Yes, I love that card too, Lorenza. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to connecting not only in the Soul Summit, but there's a lot of events coming up. There's several right before the summit, free events. The Priestess Rise Up. I'm doing a Watering Wholeness offering through the Women of Wisdom, which is also free that Wednesday. And there's something else, but you can see it. Oh, thank you, Heather. Thank you so much. What was the last deck? That last deck is this one, Soulful Woman. All of these are available on Amazon. I don't get any sort of cut from this or anything. This is just, if you know me, you know that I love oracle cards, partly because that's part of my medicine, being an oracle, you know, so thank you, Sedia. Thank you so much. I don't know if I said your name right, but thank you. All right, bye everyone. See you soon. See ya. Bye-bye. Oh, I do want to say, if you don't follow me on Instagram, consider doing that. I'm doing a lot of videos on Instagram, which is just like a different format, and I don't understand exactly the different energy, but it's like it's another offering, and but sometimes they don't get transferred over to Facebook Live. So if you follow me on Instagram, you can see them there and other things that I share. All right, bye everyone. See ya.